Hey, hey, hey. It's your girl, Coach Ebony, and welcome to Christ Culture and Connections, where we in here talking about real things for real Christians. Um, you know how we do. Two of our regular panel members are down and out today. Y'all keep them in prayer, but you know what? The Lord always have a ram in the bush, so we certainly thank the Reverend Victor R. Patterson for coming and standing in the gap for us tonight. Vic, say hey to the people.
What's up? What's up? It's always a pleasure to be with you guys. So looking forward to the conversation.
Okay, and P31, you know, listen, y'all pray for me tonight because I don't have any balance. So, we just gonna make that thing do what it do. So tonight's topic is what about your friends? I was having a
What
conversation.
about your friends?
I was having a conversation earlier this week, and this has been a topic I've been wanting to tackle for a while. But how do you know when the friendship has run its course? Sometimes we have a tendency to hold on too long to things that we definitely should have let go of. But what are gentlemen for y'all? Because I know sometimes relationships with men look a little bit different than they do for women. So for y'all, what's like some of the first signs um that you all have experienced that it's time to let a friendship go? Victor, you go first because I see y'all just nod y'all head and stuff like,
I was gonna let P31 go, but repeat the question.
what are the first signs that a friendship will no longer be healthy that you should let it go?
That's a great question. I think from my own life experience,
Mm-hmm.
I think that when a friendship becomes one sided, and one sided in energy, one sided in synergy. When on one sided, when you're doing all of the work to carry a friendship, I think it becomes a problem. I think those are some of the early signs where you're doing all the calling, and they're not calling. If you don't talk to them, it's because you didn't call them. When they're in need, they can pick up the phone or send a text and say, "Hey, I need something, whatever." But when they don't need anything, it's like out of sight, out of mind. And so, to me, those probably be some of the earliest things that I've seen in some of my previous, friendships that are not longer in existing. And I can remember a couple of those friendships stemming from when I was in the childhood. Some was 20, 30 years. But, there's always a season. That's what the Bible says. There's a season for everything. And so
Mm-hmm.
some seasons you have friendships, and some seasons are meant to cut those friends out because progress and growth doesn't always equal to everybody.
Okay. 31.
I don't remember what hood theologian it was, but they said that shit ain't nothing to cut that off. Ah, it ain't nothing to cut that. I'm sorry. So I already don't like people. Like I have very low tolerance for people already. Um, and so I mean, I don't know. I've never really had big friend circles, supposed, those who are close to me and really know me, we're friends for a reason because they get me, I get them. We may not talk every day, but when we do talk, it's like nothing has ever changed. And some people it's just like Teddy Pendergrass. Looks like another love TKO.
Get on my nerves so
Never
bad.
let him go.
Oh
I
Lord.
don't know. I've really well. All right. Let me. So I was serious with everything I just said, but let
Uh-huh.
me let me kind of take another angle. Um, the saying, when people show you who they are the first time, believe them,
Mm-hmm.
lives regularly in my life.
Okay.
Um, and then my pastor has this thing he says, um, expect them, expose them, expel them. And in that sense, it pertains to Judas, um, because Judas walked with Jesus for 3.5 years. All those years, Jesus knew who Judas was, what he was doing. He was a thief, he was a liar, he was going to betray him, all of these things. He expected it. He exposed him. He who dips his hand with me in the dish is going to be the one. And then he expelled him. Whatever you're going to do, go and do it quickly. That was his release. And I'm of the belief that you got to know when the time is right, because a lot of people say, well, Jesus knew who Judas was in the beginning, and this and that and the third, why he just ain't been get rid of him? Because I think pre-converted Peter would have killed him. That's just my belief. This is my belief. I'm not putting any, ideologies in anybody else's head. But when you look at the circle and you realize who's in the circle, just consider the fact, if Jesus would have put Judas out there early, Peter would have cut him and
Yeah.
dared him to bleed and cussed him. Uh, So I mean, I guess you just gotta know who's in your circle, know when to let them go, expect it, know when to expose it, and consider the source. Consider who's saying what about who, or where it's coming from, or people that come back with, yeah, because so and so said this about you. Well, why are they so comfortable talking to you about it?
Yeah, that has always been interesting to me, that but people come back to tell you that somebody else said why they was able to say all that
And
anyway.
and and just like just I don't want to go this far into this. However, I looked at Mark 1 today, 21 through 28, and this demon that's in this man says, "Hey Jesus, let us alone. You've come to destroy us."
Mm-hmm.
But then he reverts and he says, "I know who you are." So is it multiple of you, or is it just one of you? And if it's just one of you, why are you dragging others in with you?
But isn't it the text where where they jump out of the man and and kill themselves still? Or are we
No,
looking at
that's
something
that's
different?
that's the legions. That's further down. But Mark 1 is the man that was in the temple in Capernaum. And when Jesus goes in and begins teaching, he begins to speak up. Hey Jesus, let us alone. You've come to destroy us. I know who you are, Holy One of God. Um, and the point I made is that people will always drag you into their mess when you had
Mm.
nothing to do with it from the beginning.
Now I gotta go look at. Now you got me on here about to go look
And
at my.
so it's a thing of, okay, they said, them said, they did this, them did that. Okay, what about you? And how you know all this? And how you comfortable with them and they? Who is them and they?
Who
Or
is
is
this?
them and they just a cover up for what you really did? And you're saying they said, because we always get this they said, and we never know who they is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that's some good question. You don't find what you're looking for, Vic.
Go ahead. I'll
Um,
get to Mark one later, but go ahead.
okay. Well, I'm gonna shift just a little bit and ask, and especially, and I'm really interested in the male perspective on this. When does loyalty become self betrayal in any type of relationship, friendships,
Mm,
situationships, relationships? When does that loyalty become a betrayal to yourself?
when
So
I'm on
what's the
E and
lie?
I'm still giving and there's nothing being reciprocated.
I think there's the gospel theologian, rapper. I'm not gonna say his name. He say these ain't loyal, but I'm gonna take P31. I'm gonna take P31. That blesses my soul, because
Good theologian.
listen, it's a sad reality, that people just not loyal to you like you are to them. You can open doors for people, you can, lead people and things of that nature, but when they don't need you anymore, they seem to attach to someone that might be bigger or greater than what they think you are. They become very disloyal, and unfortunately, in ministry, especially being pastors, I think P31 can maybe speak to that. It's a tough road for some of us when it comes to loyalty. When it comes to our colleagues, at one moment they in your face, the next moment they don't want nothing to do with you. I mean, I think it's tough, and not only in that, but even in our everyday friendships and our everyday relationships. I think that they forget sometimes loyalty is a stand both ways. And I know they always look for grace and mercy from us, but there's some moments that I want to be Jesus going to go in my house and throw up a table. And so there are some moments I want to be Peter and cut somebody's ear off. But because God holds me to a different standard, I have to learn how to bite my tongue and become more solitude and not be so exposable to other people, if that makes sense.
Okay. 31, what you got?
By the way, this is water.
Boy, we know that's
There was
water.
wondering because I know that this is water. Um, I again, like I said, when I'm pouring out and not refilling, like reciprocation is not there in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying necessarily saying it has to be there in the same way, but reciprocate something, right?
You know, I think it takes us a little while to get to that point because to I guess not to get to that point, but to realize we're there. You know what I'm saying? Because while you're actively giving and pouring, um, you know, you kind of the first time they don't come, they don't do something you need, you kind of chop it up. Okay, well, we're going through, da, 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 da,
Mm-hmm.
they're in need, da, da, da. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's always as clear cut. We want it to be like super clear cut, like what they didn't do X, Y, Z, and 1, 2, 3. But it's not. I know for me, it's not always that clear cut because I am a super um empathetic and I'm a giver, and so next thing I know, I have to start. And we're not supposed to tally, but you get to be like, what, I did this and this and that, and when I needed them to come through on this, they didn't do that. So I definitely agree with you. Whereas when you're doing all the pouring and nothing is being reciprocated, but sometimes I think it take a little while to get there because you don't really realize all the time that they're not giving you back,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
agree.
what
Yeah,
you
I
need.
agree with that. Yeah. I think also when it becomes overwhelming, not only when
Hmm.
it becomes overwhelming, but when you become literally drained.
Yeah.
People like situations can drain you, but friendships can drain you as well. And when they like drain you and you got nothing left to give, and like you said, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens, over time, and everyone has their different time spans for it to happen. But the outcome of it, you really know, you have to start doing some evaluation, self evaluation, friendship evaluation. When you become just when you drain, when you don't have nothing else, when you really become indifferent about a person or a situation. I think the same thing that it takes to love someone or appreciate somebody's friendship, it's the same thing it takes you to hate that person or dislike that person. But when
Hmm.
you become indifferent to that person, That's really something like, you're done. You can care one way or another. But the same energy that it takes you to love someone, the same time that you try to spend and show up for someone, the same time you try to spend and you give your resources, if it's finances, if it's showing up, if it's time, if it's affirmation, if it's gifts and all of that, the same thing that you require you to do that to love someone, that's what the same thing that it takes you to hate somebody. You're spending time, you're spending your energy, but just not in a positive way. But when you have got to a point where you don't care to do nothing, I think you hit that rock bottom and say, you know what, let me detach from this person.
Yeah, and I think, and I'm not sure how it is in y'all's circle and situations and friendships, but I know for women, um you get people who you really think, your friends, you really think rocking with you, and you find out they ain't never really liked you. What I learned really the hard, I've had two situations that I've learned the hard way, that friendship and we had very different definitions of what friendship and sisterhood looked like.
Hmm.
Um, and I was talking with someone probably 2 or 3 years ago now, and I was telling her, just kind of venting, and she was like, "Well, their definition of it is different from yours." And when I really sat down and reflected on that, she was absolutely correct, and that started to free me of some things. So I think a lot of times when we're talking about when to chop something up, when to go ahead and end a connection, we have to really look to see if their definition matches our definition. Because if you're a giver, and you always show up and you're trying to do something for somebody and help them, excel and exceed, but would they do the same for you at the same level? Because somebody can do something, and we always talk about putting your best foot forward, but if we be real in the real world, sometimes your best, it may be good enough for a certain thing, but it's not good enough for this. Just
Right.
like when you're going out, making a trying out for a team or something, you might have did your best, but it just wasn't good enough, and that actually really happens. So for me personally, making I have been making sure that I align myself with individuals whose definition reflects mine, because that matters. Just like, especially with y'all, you need somebody that's going to come out and support you. You going to support them, but when you need them to come out, and support you, they'll never show up. Well, how that work? You know what I'm saying? Like,
You
you can't
gotta
be traveling miles and stuff for them, and they ain't never coming out and doing nothing for you. So
gotta watch how people move, man.
you do, and that's
And,
so
and
like that's so sad, because it should not be like that.
a lot of times, I do what's called playing dumb.
Yeah.
Might act like I don't know, but I know. I know what's been said. I know what you've done. I know. I'm just
Absolutely.
playing dumb.
Absolutely. You ain't gonna bring it up. I'm not gonna bring it
And
up,
then
but
especially in the
That's hard for me.
the ministry realm, when I really first got into ministry, one of the things that was told to me, and it still stands true. And as a matter of fact, someone who I can actually call a brother reminded me of it. I think last week we were talking, and your best friend will be a preacher, but also your worst enemy will be a
Mm.
preacher.
that's real.
Like, you're always gonna have that one that I got you, I support you, I stand with you, we push each other, we can go through certain things together. And then you're always gonna have that one where I'm in your corner until you start getting elevated.
Mm.
Or until things start happening for you that I feel like should be happening for me.
And for me, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
but
And
what
that's
about those
that's
friend?
rough.
What about those friendships? And I this is something that's recently just been happening to me because the last month or two, I just been like over it, right? I'm like, this is the edge, and I'm like right here on the edge, like want to like jump off, because I had to realize just because I'm friendly to everyone, the colleagues in particular, doesn't mean that they are really friends. They are colleagues, and I have to learn how to separate, the two, because when you have conversations amongst other pastors and things of that nature, and you freely, openly, candidly speaking, and then they take these conversations and they take them back to whatever else, and they say what you said, but they don't say
Hey,
what.
what they said.
And then it becomes like you're the bad guy. And I'm just like, and so I'm going through that kind of like right now, and I'm just like, man, Lord, teach me to learn. What does they say? No new friends. Stick with your day ones, and call it quits. Because with your day ones, you know what you're gonna get. Somebody told me you never want to go to a new situation because you don't know who the devils or the demons are there. But at least you know who your devil and your demons are where you at. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's real.
Oh, that's what like I was having a conversation with one of my coworkers. And we were talking about how do you decide what category to put people in? Because people use the term friend very loosely. Like, oh, this my friend, this my, da, da, da. But everybody really is not some people are your colleagues. Some people are associates, and associates just sounds
Associate.
it just sounds so unfriendly to me.
Associate.
But you have to, like, this is an associate of mine. Like, this just somebody I know a little bit.
We happen to be in the same field. We happen to listen. I ain't never had a problem with placing you where you actually belong.
Maybe that's just my good southern.
I
My
I've
southern.
never. Well, let me back up. I have. I have. It was early though. It was like
Mhm.
early late teens, early 20s
Okay.
when I had to realize everybody that call you friend or bro is not
Not your
friend or
friend.
bro.
No.
And after that I started learning where to place people.
'Cause some people
And
really
I
are just
started
trying to come in and get your weak. I'm sorry, brother. They just trying to find where you weak at.
yeah,
Hmm.
and I had to learn how to, you know, oh shoot, I forgot what I was about to say.
I'm sorry.
You have to learn how to walk around them or work. I mean, because it's not so like
Oh,
because in the AME church, AME Zion church, AME churches, you're gonna have to work. Like, I'm gonna have to work with these people, but you gotta learn how to work around them or work with them just enough to get the job done.
this is why I like being Baptist. I ain't got to deal with you if I don't want to. I hate lying.
Listen,
What I was about to say, learning how to limit access to certain people
Uh-huh.
and setting those boundaries. Like just because you know me don't mean you have access to
So, saying that, let me ask you this.
it.
Is it possible to outgrow people without there being conflict?
Yes.
I say no. Why you say yes?
No. I want to know why you say no. And then ask the question.
You go first.
Uh-uh.
Because unless it is, especially if you are ascending, if you're going up, most of the time people are going to feel some type of way when you're going up, you're being blessed, you're climbing up the ladder, and you leave them behind. Especially if y'all are colleagues and call yourself friends. So they're going to feel some type of way, whether they start showing it through microaggressions, passive aggressiveness, or just straight out, aggression and cut you off. That's still a conflict. And I
There ain't no
just
content for me.
But Ebony, I get what you're saying. I definitely do think there
I mean, I get
is
it, but it ain't no,
some.
yeah.
I think it is complicated to end friendships, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes time heals everything, but once you're going through it, you can feel the tension. You can feel
Uh-huh.
the disconnection and things of that nature, even if you don't have those conversations. Y'all both know what time it is. So, but you know when you're around each other, you know other people around, and like y'all wasn't y'all these friendly and wasn't y'all this, and you like you say you speak to be cordial, but you know without saying anything that what the tension is. So I get what you're saying. I totally did.
Yeah. Well, we know Pete that one just cut folks off, block them. He don't
But
care.
the older I get, the more I'm okay with being just me and Jesus. We
Lord.
got our own thing going on. I am not upset about you walking away. I
So,
know there's this big conflict and stuff around Bishop T.D. Jakes and all that. But there was some years ago a sermon he preached, and in that sermon he said, "Let them walk.
let them go.
Let them walk.
Let
If
them
if
walk.
if they don't support you like you support them, let them walk. If they're comfortable with not showing up or comfortable with talking about you, let them walk. If they're comfortable with leaving and getting, let them walk. And that's why, hey,
You can preach that. Let them walk.
So,
tell
with
me
letting
about
them
you.
go, how does forgiveness and letting go coexist? Because you ain't got to be mad at them to let them go. How they live together.
How does
Child, I ain't got
forgiveness?
time to be mad at nobody for
How
nothing.
does for,
I,
good.
that's too much. My
Hush,
brain already
nigga.
hurt.
How does forgiveness and letting go coexist?
Go ahead, P31. I just wanted to hear what the rest of the question was.
He don't care. He just he just letting them go. You mad? I'm mad. You ain't mad. You
If you
mad? I
mad,
ain't mad.
I'm
I don't
not
care.
mad. I'm not
I,
gonna be mad. You got
he
like
just don't
I'm
care.
not. There's too much life ahead. Too many things to be done for me to sit and sulk and be sour and be mad over. Will it potentially hurt for a little bit? Yes. May I be mad for a couple hours? It's gonna just be a couple hours. Cause at the end of the day, I'm gonna be like, well, another one bites the dust. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, and another one bites the dust. Because either
We ain't got no choice.
you were here for a lesson, you were here for a blessing, you were here for a season, and you just got to know when people's time is up and what their purpose was for in your life. Some people, I said this in Bible study last Wednesday. Some people are designed to be agitators.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure both of y'all got washing machines in your house. The
Hmm.
thing in the
What you
middle
talking about? I don't want to be
is
agitated
an
no more.
is
Just
an
let me.
agitator.
That's just fine.
Because without the agitator, it just spins and your clothes don't get clean.
You right now.
It never comes out. It never changes. It's just wet dirt without that agitator.
Uh huh.
So it needs the agitation to bring its color back, to become clean, to get all the gunk and the grime out. And it works the same way with people. That some people agitate you to polish you. Some people agitate you to make you better. And so what was your purpose of being here? Are you an agitator? Were you designed to get me to a certain point? Are you a spiritual passenger? Or are you a hitchhiker? Passengers, they go the entire destination. Hitchhikers got to get off at a certain stop. Which one are you? Are you a booster rocket? Y'all know what booster rockets is? That when the rocket goes up and it gets to a certain altitude, those boosters that's on the side drop
Mhm.
off. Which one are you?
So let me ask you this, 31. Do you still have love for anybody you done gave the boot to?
I love everybody, and that's not a me being, I don't know what's the word. That's not, I'm not being facetious. I I legitly have a love for everybody I've encountered. And over time, of course, over time you learn to love people from a distance. And I think that was one of my biggest issues. Well, I don't think, I know that was one of my biggest issues. Because of the heart I have for people. And a lot of people take that for granted. And so me and my father had a conversation one time, and he says, we cannot control the heart that God gave us, but we can control who we allow access to that heart that God gave us.
I rock with it. Cause
And so I love you. I pray. I wish you the very best. I am praying for you. I pray for open doors, that elevation comes, whatever it may be, that life is never hard. And if you ever get to the point where you really just down bad enough and you really just need somebody to help you in that moment, I'm probably going to be there. That's not saying I'm going to be there like I was before, but I'll be there in some way, shape, or form.
yeah, you can get a conversation out of me.
I
That's
think that
all I got.
I think there's a difference between forgiveness and reconciliation.
Oh, most definitely.
I think we should forgive, but we don't have to reconcile with everyone. And I think my fraternity brother John Wesley Edmonds said it when he was talking about how Jesus forgave Peter and said, "Go get Peter." But he didn't say go get Judas. He forgave Judas, but he understood what Judas' purpose was in order for him to be executed on the cross. And so even with friendships, we can forgive them, but we necessarily don't have to reconnect with them. And so we have to
I'm,
have that healthy boundary as well. So,
Oh yeah,
and those
I
boundaries are
totally
never
I'm,
for
agree with
them; it's for us.
that. Mm-hmm.
I'm slightly on the other side of that coin, because for me, true forgiveness facilitates the ministry of reconciliation. But when we reconcile, does not mean that you have the same access. What
Mm.
and I like what Victor said. However, the thing is, he couldn't go get Judas. Judas hung himself before he got back. And I do believe if Judas had not hung himself, he probably would have when he got Judas. Now, would Judas have been an apostle? I don't know. Would Judas have been used in the Lord's church? I don't know. The problem is the thing with Judas is he hangs himself. It wasn't the Lord that did it. It was his own guilty conscience. And
And then so,
most people will hang themselves. They will go get their own rope, they will find their own tree, and they will tie their own knots
that would preach by itself.
because of
Mm,
their own conscience.
mm, that would preach. But didn't Jesus go down? But didn't Jesus go down to Hades?
Who's to say that Judas was in hell?
Where was that?
We don't know. Who's to say that Judas was in hell? We don't know the
Why would
last
Jesus? Why,
conversation he
why
had
would Jesus
before
go
he
to
did it.
hell? Why would Jesus go to
We
hell
don't.
after? Why would he
He
go?
said
Why would he
the,
go
the
there?
Bible says that he snatched the keys from death and hell.
And
That
so you
that
don't
that
think he?
death does not become a enemy no more. And we're not getting into this because that's a whole theological conundrum in that. And however, we don't know what happened to Judas. We don't know.
Judas in hell for one.
That's one of those open-ended things that the Bible doesn't say, and I, I'm of the belief I ain't putting nothing there because it might just be I make it in and homeboy in the corner with a plate of red lobster meatballs and sandwiches.
Listen, so I had a friend that I met back in 2004. We was friends for a good long time. I went through some rough patches with her. She went through some with me. But when I had my daughter, she said something to me that totally derailed our friendship. Like it, I hung up I said, "Hey, you hurt my feelings." I hung up the phone on her. She tried to call me. I wouldn't answer her phone. I would see her in the store and go the other way. And she apologized to me multiple times over the years. December 2025, I saw her at a function. And when I looked at her, the feelings that I used to have for her back in the day flooded me. And I was like, I saw her and I almost cried. And I was like, oh, I miss her. And I saw her in March and I realized that I had totally forgiven her for what she had said that hurt my feelings so bad because at the time she didn't know and I didn't really realize it either, but I was going through postpartum depression. So what she said hit me real hard. And I won't say what that was because we've hashed it out, but I told her we had a conversation. Matter of fact, we was at a health fair. Totally not the space time for that, but God was like, "Go tell her like you really, really, really forgive her, and that you miss her and yada yada." And so I would say at that point, because while I had kind of forgiven her over the years, I didn't like, and she would still invite me to some stuff, and I would go because out of respect for the connection that we once had. But I didn't realize that I had actually really, like totally let it go and desired a reconciliation to grant access back until like that time. And we hugged and we cried and and we've been talking. But yes, for me, I can hold a mean grudge. I can hold one for because most of the time if I decide I don't like you no more, like that's ball game. That's it. You can't tell me nothing. Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. And if I cut off stuff with you, I cut off stuff with everybody. You, your mama, your daddy, your kids, your grandchildren, everybody. So that's something y'all have to pray for me about. But for me, I can forgive you and not, you know, I guess maybe I don't want reconciliation because I ain't got most of the time I ain't no need for us to talk no more. And you can call me and I'll be cordial and all of that, um but if I decide to fully reconcile with you, I desire connection as well. So, forgiveness don't grant access for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so listen, hear me. What I said, I didn't say it granted access. I just said it does facilitate the ministry of reconciliation. Because I told y'all from the beginning, I probably didn't like you from the beginning. Because I don't like people.
You is crazy. I be liking folks. I be really, really be trying to like folks and really be trying to be a good friend and a good sister to folks. But
So
people just come around and despitefully misuse you and mistreat you.
people are disgusting. That's
Listen,
what they are.
I used
Just
to be
disgusting.
a extreme extrovert. I needed to be around people. I needed to be the life of the party. I needed to be because I fed I fed off of that. But the older I got, I have become an introvert. I deal with you out in the public because I got to, but just let me at home by myself because if I'm by myself, like you said, P31, just me and Jesus, I'm ain't nobody else can get me in trouble. I can just stay at home, lay in the bed, don't have to deal with people. But yeah, I mean, but we made to be around people. We made to commune with each other. We made to have that body. And so I believe once we cut ourselves off from that, we also don't do ourselves a service. So the thing is, how do we balance that healthy? How do we balance who's for us and who's against us?
That's a good question, and I think because sometimes when we go through, because we always talking about discernment and stuff, but I think past hurts kind of throw your discernment off a little bit.
Hmm.
When you have been in situations when you have, like, because when I was younger, I used to be bad about befriending people. Be like, Ebony, they need a good friend. Bet I'm a bridge builder. Let's go be friends. Let's do that. But what I have learned in this season of life is that, oh, hey, brother Marlon, hey, my brother Art, is that you still have to be careful on who you pour your oil out on. In this season, while you're saying talking about making no new friends, I'm gonna still make a friend or two along the way. I'm just gonna be more selective about the energy that I give them, because time and energy are the two things you can't get back. Those are our most valuable resources. And so and we still have to, because we do need people. We are not we can't be an island unto ourselves, because you can't do everything by yourself. That's just it.
Hmm.
It just don't work, because that's why we have community. But I think it's just important to kind of let people show their cards a little bit first, and that take a little while. So I think you have to spend a little something to get a little something, and it's just about waiting a little bit more before we fully invest all of our time and energy into people.
Steve
And
Harvey just. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead. I thought somebody had sent me a question. Go ahead.
Steve Harvey said this when he was giving advice to somebody in his audience. He said when he meets somebody, he just knows them. He said where they really become friends is when they go through something together. He said if
Hmm.
he said unless you actually go through something together, and y'all both are going through it together, he said you just know them. So I'm like, man, that's really real, right? You can know everybody, but you really can't call everybody friend, because you call the wrong person friend, they can destroy you.
That's true. But but when you go through something, you're trauma bonding. Like I don't want to trauma. I've trauma bonded with a
Mm,
couple people. I don't want to trauma bond with nobody else. Not to
mm.
just say that you my girl. I don't. Let's let's pick an activity, and you ride for me, I'm a ride for you. But not just because we both down bad and we both need some
But
support with something. I can't do
is
that no more.
going through something always a bad thing, right? Because
Well,
we can
no,
go through something like right now, we're going through this together, right? And
no. But when you said they go through something,
hmm.
that for me that register as
Okay,
going through an issue. But no,
got you.
any experiences, whether they're
Yeah,
good or bad,
yeah,
create different bonds and elicit different emotions and trigger different
yeah,
chemistries in our brain.
yeah,
So, but it has been scientifically proven that people bond more over trauma because it,
yeah,
it pulls different responses.
absolutely. I can get that.
Mm. 31 would. What you got to say? Honey, you always got something to say, so I don't believe that.
Mm-mm.
But anywho, we're gonna wrap it up. Last question for the night. What lessons have past relationships taught you about yourself? Relationships and friendships.
Taught me about myself.
Yeah.
What it's taught me about myself is I always say trust people to show you who they are. Trust people to be themselves. And sometimes I trust people off the bat, and sometimes when I do that, I make myself vulnerable to anything. And so, in a way of protecting myself, is kind of like we was talking about, taking some time to get to know a person before I open up completely to that person, because everybody that you open up to is not for you. So that's one thing I've kind of made it, going forward is if you're my colleague, you my colleague. If you're my friend, yeah, I'm calling you friend because we've been around for each other for a minute, and I know you got my best interest. And then and move as such. You can't be friend to everybody, but the people that you do friend, love them because everyone needs somebody.
Okay. 31. Say something, and then I got something to say.
One that I really actually do appreciate and like low maintenance friendships.
Okay.
Like I really like I said it earlier. Like we ain't gotta talk every day. But when we do talk, we know what it is. Ain't nothing changed. I'm still here for you. You still here for me. Whatever. My best friend. My best friend. And she knows she's my best friend. Um uh when we were in school together in high school, every night, before she graduated and even after she graduated, we would hang out on her front porch at her house every night. Um we both graduated. Life happened for both of us in different ways, and we didn't necessarily talk like we used to in the same ways, but we were always there. When I got ordained, she drove all the way from Shreveport to be at my ordination. I didn't know she was coming until she was there. After my ordination, maybe maybe a couple weeks or maybe a month after, a couple weeks after maybe, she called me and she was like, "Hey, you know how we used to always joke and say um that when I get married, you have to do my wedding?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" She was like, "Well, you're doing my wedding." Her wedding was scheduled for the following year in June, I think, or maybe that same year. I don't remember exactly when, but matter of fact, it was that same year because I got ordained March 13th when the world started shutting down because of COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and her wedding was in June. And so when we did the first marriage, it was in their apartment, just a couple close family and friends. And then their second ceremony was their big ceremony. Um, when everything was able to open back up again. And we're those type of friends, but we're low maintenance. We don't talk every day. But when we do talk, it is what it is. Um, it has made me since we talking about whatever I learned about myself, it's made me value my time more.
Okay.
Life is too short to be putting up with some people's foolishness.
Mm,
And what the bald headed devil and his snaggletooth bald headed mama is not gonna do is waste my time.
Don't forget cucumber crunching.
Cucumber crunching, slew footed, long back, leather back. I was like, that, if y'all ain't watched the video, it's an insider between
Inside
me and my
joke.
sister.
that's funny.
However, um, I time is too valuable.
Absolutely.
Time is too valuable, and I've realized in my life how much time I actually wasted with some things, on
Mm,
some people, on some like time I could have spent doing something else or fulfilling something else, being available, being used for something. No, how Maxine want to say that? Reclaiming my time.
Oh, okay. Reclaiming my time.
Reclaiming my time. Um, I appreciate being alone. I
mm,
really do. Man, I will, and I've been doing it the last couple of days. Um, and there's been a study on that, which I probably need to go and take a walk or something. But anyways, I will a week straight come home after work, shower, get in the bed, and watch the same movie that I just watched yesterday. They put Going in Style. Y'all know what Going in Style is with what's his name? What's the man that's been old all his life, all his acting career?
You talking
Morgan
about Morgan
Freeman.
Freeman?
Morgan Freeman. Going in Style. So Going in Style is with Morgan Freeman and two other
He said
old
been
guys.
old all his career.
Because
And
he been old all
and
his
man,
career.
look, I've always known Morgan. He came out old.
That been old all
He
his
did.
career.
But
Lord,
there's a
it's
movie. There's a
crazy.
movie where it's three old men that get together. Their job has shut down. This factory they was working at has shut down. Their pension has been stopped. They're not getting paid, and they decide to rob a bank together.
Oh, I have seen that movie.
It's called
It's
Going in
funny.
Style.
Yeah.
I watched it. I've watched it I'm probably going to watch it again tonight. I've been watching Pixels every night, and I've seen Pixels 50 million times with Adam Sandler and all. But what I'm saying is
That's
that's that's just me, and I'm okay with that, and not having to deal with. And then what it's also told me about myself, I know a lot of cuss words
yeah. Mm.
because people will make you cuss.
Absolutely.
And I listen. If y'all super saved and y'all listening, and Peter was a cusser, and Peter's my uncle.
Absolutely.
I just want to let you know.
Peter, your
That's my
humble.
uncle too.
Your
He's
uncle.
my uncle. Peter's my uncle,
That's
and he
uh,
was
that's
a
my
guy.
uncle, and the first miracle that Jesus did was for me. Lord knows, I love that He turned water into wine. Woo!
Hatara Mancio.
Oh Lord,
That
Father
miracle was
But
help
done
but
for that miracle was done for
but
Victor Patterson.
people have taught me. People have taught me I'm truly Baptist, and I know this is a bad stereotype, but I'm truly Baptist
Mm.
Yeah,
because I will cut you and not feel no remorse.
oh sweet baby Jesus.
And so before I get to that point, before I'm ever, to that point where I feel like I gotta say words that's not in the 23rd Psalms, I'm just not. I'm gonna pull myself away. I'm gonna go, and then people be like, "Oh man, you acting funny." No, I'm not acting funny. I've grown.
What
I've
did he
I've changed.
what did he say in verse 5? He prepares a table.
I, I've gotten away from certain things. I'm no longer going to be used and abused, and no, it's not gonna happen. And so I'm sorry you feel away, but this is me protecting me.
Amen.
Because if I don't do it, who gonna do it?
Nobody.
Absolutely.
Cause I'm like my uncle. God got to run the world, so I'm gonna handle this one.
Say ain't too many more prayers you're gonna be sending up to God about that.
God has to run. God has to. I don't know if y'all saw the picture of my uncle that I posted that passed 7 years ago, but he used to say, "God is busy running the world. I'm gonna handle this one."
So sweet baby Jesus. We don't want you to handle it. We just don't because Father help. I think for me, what it has taught me, like I said, I've said over and over, is to make sure that me and the people I am interacting with have the same definitions of friendship and sisterhood or whatever ship we're entering into. Um, I also have found that I enjoy solitude a lot more the older that I get. I enjoy being able to just sit and scroll on my phone or listen to music uninterrupted
Absolutely.
or watch a movie uninterrupted. Now we can talk about whatever we was watching, later after we done watch it, because I love to have a good watch party. Let's watch it and then come back and talk about it. But while I'm
Absolutely.
watching it, I don't want you to talk to me because I'm trying to catch everything. Unless I'm just talking about, because I'll talk to the TV like, oh my god, But I have realized that my social battery charges both ways. I need to be around people sometimes, but sometimes I need to be alone. And I am probably a medium level friend. Um,
Mm.
and it really depends on it actually really depends on the amount of time we've known each other. I have friends who I have talked to every day, 4 times, multiple times a day. And I have my friends from college, we can go probably a year without talking to each other or more. And then, they can be like, hey, we coming down, da 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 da, bed, I'm gonna be there. So it just kind of friends, but I think it just kind of depends on what type of connectivity and access I have to a certain person. And it's just I've realized that I need to disconnect sometimes. But I also realize that I'm also about communication. Like, I don't care if you need to disconnect. I'm more of a let me know, because I'm the person who will send a welfare check to your house. So you can't not just not answer the phone for me. Like, if I done called you, I done text you, you gotta
Hey,
let me know,
hey,
hey, I'm
hey,
good. I'm just chilling. Cause I'll send the
hey,
police.
hey. Sister messaged me on Messenger, text me, then call twice, then text me again. I woke up, I'm like, is everything okay? No, nigga, is you okay? Whoa, 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 whoa. What?
So, okay. So he posts something every Monday morning at like 7:30, 7 something in our group chat. Well, I happen to notice that he didn't post. So I may not always respond to it, but that is a sign of life. That let me know you was all right. That let me know everything in your life going okay. And he didn't post.
Y'all, I had 3 services the Sunday before, and I was exhausted. I was trying to
He,
sleep.
he was tired, he was asleep. But baby, hey, little bro, you all right? He didn't respond to that. I text him in Messenger first. Hey, you all right? He didn't respond. Then I text him on that phone. Hey. Then I called him. Little boy, where you at? That's everybody know. Everybody know. I do my coworkers like that too. If you ain't in the building by a certain time, I'm getting worried. I'm finna call your loved ones. Where your people at? Because I need to
When I
know.
finally did get up, I'm like, what is all these notifications from? All
Me,
of them.
they was from
Every
me.
last one of them was from the same, except for one. The only one that wasn't from you, my daddy had texted me.
And I ain't shame neither. I ain't
Everything
shame.
else was from my sister.
That's funny.
And once I
And
find
then
out he was all right,
that's enough. Let me make this disclaimer. Y'all are different. Y'all don't fit into these categories that we've talked about tonight. Y'all have actually become brothers and sisters. How do I know? Because ain't no way I'm driving to the country of Alabama.
love you too.
That's funny.
I,
How far are you away
you
No.
know,
from? How far are they away from Panola, or is that on the opposite side?
who?
Panola, Alabama. How far are you from that, Ebony?
Where is that
You
at?
don't know where Panola, Alabama is?
You don't
No.
even know.
Oh, it's in
You
the
don't even know.
country too.
I ain't never
You don't
heard
even
of
know.
it. What major city is it close by, and I can tell you how far away.
It's not too far away from like Mississippi, like
Major city in
Meridian and all
Alabama.
that stuff.
It's over there by
Major
Huntsville, Birmingham.
Maybe no, I don't know exactly where it is. Let me see.
You live there?
No, there's an Amy
Oh,
Zion church there. It's a few of them, but there's one there that I used to.
Belly.
Hold on, Panola, Panola.
That's what I thought.
Excuse me.
Marlon said he never heard of that himself.
Who said
Cool.
that?
Marlon, it is 4 hours and 36 minutes away from me. And it looks like is
Oh, that's like from me to Houston.
uh
Well,
so it's
no, Houston
somewhere.
is 3 hours from where I'm at.
It ain't close to no major city. You don't even go through Montgomery or Tuscaloosa or Birmingham. Let me see what.
Is there a lot of white people there? It sounds like the
Not
white
black
people.
folks. It's a lot. It was a lot of slave. It's country. It was a lot of
Oh,
slave stuff that happened in,
don't look at me like that.
What's
They
this?
on here?
What's the
My
biggest
sister
city?
looked at me like I said something that I wasn't supposed to. They on here too?
Yes, it's close to
They are?
Tuscaloosa.
They watching?
Yes, it's 50 to 60 miles southwest of Tuscaloosa. Well, that is the country.
No,
It ain't even close to a major city for real.
it is.
It ain't 50 to 60 miles away. That's like 2 hours away from there.
They also close to Meridian, Meridian, Mississippi. Have you heard of Meridian?
Yeah, but you got to leave Alabama to get
That's
there.
a state line.
That's a state line, sir.
But I'm just saying it's all in the little. But look, yeah.
Well,
State
that's why we
line.
don't even have no Walmart over there.
Nah, they gotta go.
I
It's
know they
when I
do
say the
have. They
country.
got Dollar General.
When
I
I
Oh,
say
you know,
guarantee you they got Dollar
they
General.
got a Dollar General.
when I say it's the country. They just closed the school down that they have too for their kids. There's
Well,
the
where the
country.
children supposed to go?
They getting bust. They bust them somewhere else.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
it's a country.
I wonder how early they got to get up. Never mind. I don't want to.
Anywho, y'all have any closing remarks? Cause I'm finna go eat my chicken and dumplings.
Yep, I'm gonna say this. No new friends. Nah. Man, yeah, that's like yeah, listen, what about your friends? Hey. Hey. But nah, yeah, man. Cherish the real ones, man. Cherish the day ones because they always gonna be real with you.
I think. I think me and my 12 think. By the way, that's why I don't need no friends because I got 12
Sure
of me
don't, baby. They all
living upstairs. And technically, mind you, all the 12 have names because they live there. There's one who's an anomaly that we call 13. He's just 13 because he pops in randomly. He like comes to mediate the meetings and
I'm finna have to get you some
stuff like
medication.
that. No. However, um, I was gonna say, don't let people play in your face. Always your time.
Mm.
You stay
In
ready to
in
fight somebody.
in 20, this ain't even about fight. In 2026, your time is too valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Go finish school. Go write that book. Go read a book. Go go read a book. Go do something besides letting people play in your face and waste your time.
Amen.
That go for church folks too. Don't let them play in your face. I'll waste your time either.
Mm.
I felt the Holy Ghost.
Before you
I-
get crazy, this has been Christ Culture and Connections, where we connect the culture to the spiritual, to the emotional, and we have a little fun doing it. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, P31. We love y'all. We'll see y'all later.
Peace.